Picture it. You're a kid again, staring at 3 Poké Balls, knowing that this choice matters. Some starters become legends, others kinda fell off. Today, I'm putting my nostalgia glasses back on, and we're tier listing every single starter Pokemon from the mainline series. Hello everyone, and thank you for coming to my channel. My name is Lane, and with that, let's get started. Alright, so as always, I like to go ahead and start with my tier list categories. We have fantastic, amazing, good, bad, and horrible. I don't think I'm going to do a best and a worst for this one, just because it's going to add unnecessary categories. I usually like to tier list them within the category, so if I like one Pokemon better, it's going to be higher in the amazing category than the other one, who I like a little bit less. So, yep, with that, let's go. So starting off with Generation 1, we have Bulbasaur. I love Bulbasaur. He's probably my favorite Generation 1 starter Pokemon. Actually, he is. I already did that favorite Pokemon picker last week. But yeah, overall, he's a very good Pokemon, very reliable throughout any Kanto journey. I've used him the most out of any Pokemon ever on any of my games or any of my playthroughs that I've ever recorded. So yeah, Bulbasaur is great. I love Bulbasaur. Charmander is good. I definitely think that he's overhyped, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's bad. I enjoy using Charmander as that difficulty part of Kanto, since it is weak to the first 2 gym leaders, but overall he's just not my favorite Pokemon. But yeah, overall he's good. Next we have Squirtle, who I'm going to put in amazing. Blastoise is actually the first Pokemon that I ever got to level 100 in any of my games, and it was because I just couldn't beat the Elite Four as a child, and I just kept leveling him up in the Elite Four. And yeah, but overall he's a really good Pokemon. I really enjoy Squirtle and his evolutionary line. Pikachu's good. Definitely a weaker pick compared to Eevee, but overall it's a good Pokemon. It's a good evolutionary line. I don't dislike it, but I do think that, like Charmander, definitely overhyped, overplayed. Next we have Eevee, who I'm just going to go ahead and put up in Fantastic. Eevee's only ever a starter Pokemon, and for some reason this tier list includes Colosseum and XD, so I guess Eevee would be a starter Pokemon in XD, and it would be in Let's Go Eevee. And in Let's Go Eevee, might I say, just the most overpowered thing in the entire game. It's got all of those really cool moves, like Batty Bad, so the one I remember off the top of my head, but Sappy Sip or something, I don't know. Probably an inappropriate thing to say, but yeah, overall, just a really good Pokemon. I enjoy Eevee so much. I hate that you can't evolve it, but I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose of Let's Go Eevee. And then in XD Gale Darkness, those are just so memorable for me. I love those games, but honestly, I always evolved Eevee in those games, so I never really stuck out too much. But yeah, super OP pick. Honestly, I probably like Eevee better than Bulbasaur. Next, we have Chikorita, and I'm gonna say Chikorita's not good. I don't think I've used it a ton just because it is so difficult to get started. It's like Charmander, but they gave it less tools in its generation because it's weak to the first 2 gyms and doesn't learn any moves to make up for it. Like in Fire Red and Leaf Green, they made up for Charmander being weak to the fighting gym by giving it Metal Claw, but in Heart Gold Soul Silver, they did nothing for Chikorita. Like, you gotta overlevel it, in my opinion, or have a bunch of backup Pokemon just to make it even viable. And yeah, overall, not the worst. You know, I do think that it's really good in Legends, though. I don't know if I should be counting Legends EA and Legends Arceus in this discussion, but, you know, I'll do it. I'll move it up to good for that, because I do think that it gaining the Fairy typing is really good for it. So, I'll put it at the bottom of good right now. Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil's fine. It's good. It's not one of my favorite Pokemon, if I'm being totally honest with you. I think that it's just getting bigger. Like, there's not enough about it changing until you get to the Hisuian form, and then I love the Hisuian form. I love the design with all of the purples and all of that. I just think that that's really cool. But overall, Cyndaquil's not bad. I don't think I've actually ever completed a game with Cyndaquil. I completed one game with Cyndaquil. 2, I guess, if you count Legend, but 1 Johto playthrough with Cyndaquil. So yeah, overall not my favorite. Totodile is going to go up into Fantastic. I love Totodile so much. I love the hyperactiveness of Totodile. I know I shouldn't be counting this, but in Mystery Dungeon, I played Totodile for my first playthrough, and I've got a lot of really good memories with Totodile. I've played through Johto a lot with Totodile, and I've definitely played Legends EA with Totodile. So overall, one of my favorite starter Pokemon ever. So yeah. Next up, we have the Hoenn starters, starting with Trico. I'm gonna put him up in amazing. I don't necessarily, he's probably my least favorite out of all of the Hoenn starters, which is fine. I used it a lot when I was a kid, but that's mainly because Ash did in the anime. So kind of biased, but not really. But overall, I definitely think that it needed that extra dragon typing that it got just to compete with the other two, but that's only in its mega form. So, you know, it's not all the time and it's not in every generation. So, yep, overall, Trico's a really, really amazing Pokemon. I love the design, love the color scheme. Yeah. Next, we have Torchic, who I am going to place above Bulbasaur. It's probably my favorite Hoenn starter. I love Blaziken, I love its line, I love the anime, how it was so it was May's Pokemon, super like impactful into the series that way. But yeah, overall, I just love the idea as a little fire chick, and I like that it's gender difference. It has like a little spot on its back. Super niche. Don't know why that plays into me doing it, but I just like the idea of like a real world connection that way, I guess. But yeah, overall, just really fantastic Pokemon. Love the evolutionary line. Moving on, we have Mudkip. And Mudkip's gonna go top of amazing for me. Do you like Mudkips? I think they're amazing. But overall, I don't necessarily know if this is enough to bump it up into the fantastic tier for me. It is the best Pokemon to play through all of Hoenn with, just because of its really, really unique typing. But I just don't know if it's... I don't like it enough to put it up in fantastic, if I'm being totally honest. But it's a really, really good Pokemon, I will say that. Okay, so skipping right over Espeon and Umbreon because I decided I don't want to count them in this one. I might do a total starter tier list at some point, but I'm not going to count them. I'm going to put Turtwig down in bad. I could just never get this thing going. Like, normal playthrough of Generation 4, it's just extremely hard for me to use. It's really, really slow. It's really, really bulky. I don't hate it. It's just, it's definitely not for me. I don't, yeah, it's not the worst Pokemon on this, probably on this list, but yeah, I don't know. I like Torterra's design a lot, but Grottle's very underwhelming for me. I find that we're going to have that with a lot of these Pokemon, so I'm probably not going to go into that too much, but yeah, Turtwig's just probably not one of my favorite starter Pokemon. Next, we have Chimchar, who I'm just going to bump all the way up to Fantastic. By far my favorite starter Pokemon of all time. I love the evolutionary line. I love its plot in the anime where Paul abandoned it and then it learned how to control its blaze ability. It's just, yeah, I like monkeys. Monkeys are one of my favorite animals. I just overall really, really cool Pokemon, really cool evolutionary line. And yeah, I just cannot go. I could keep going on. I could not stop if I kept going on about Chimchar and its evolutionary line. And Fernape's probably my favorite favorite fire Pokemon, fire type Pokemon overall. Next we have Piplup, who will go bottom of amazing. I really like the evolution of it going from like a baby penguin up to an emperor penguin. I think that that's really, really cool, the progression, like real world, I guess, because I don't even know about that, but the idea like of it being based off of Napoleon is really, really cool. Yeah, overall, I like the fact that it gains a steel typing. That's really unique for a starter Pokemon, especially at this time. Looking at the other Pokemon, I think this is the only water steel type that we get. Just really, really cool Pokemon. Snivy. I'm going to put it at the bottom of good. I've only used this Pokemon through one playthrough, and I don't think that it was really that impactful of a team that I did for Black and White. I was definitely more leaning on like Pokemon like Archeops and Seismitoad than I was Snivy. I think that its ability Contrary makes it really, really good, and if you could have had that in the initial game, I probably would have bumped it up to top of good. You know, I'll just leave it there because it does get Contrary. I do have a shiny one that I got through Pokemon Go, and I transferred it all the way up to Scarlet and Violet, and I use that as my Terra Raid Pokemon when I play that. I haven't played it in a minute, but overall, I just think that it's a good Pokemon. It's a really good Pokemon. Tepig is gonna go to the bottom of amazing. Probably my favorite Generation 5 starter Pokemon. I love that it's a pig. And I just love that he's just so happy, you know? Like, he's just a goofball. He's just here for a good time. Its Final Evolution Emboar is slightly underwhelming. I do think that its Mega Evolution helped with it, but it's not gonna be up in the fantastic tier for me. I think that it's good. It's amazing. I still love it. It's still my favorite, but I don't think that it's gonna ever be up in the fantastic tier for me. Its shiny is amazing, though. Well, not its shiny, but Emboar shiny is amazing. Oshawott, I'm gonna put right above Snivy. Yep. I think that Oshawott is adorable. It's definitely the cutest Pokemon. I really think that they messed up by not giving it the fighting type though, because it should have had the fighting type. I mean, its final evolution is literally like a sword fighter. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but it's based off of like a samurai. Really, really cool. Really, really cool Pokemon. I like, well, and then its Hisuian form, it just turns like evil, and that's really, really cool too. We love when things turn evil, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, just super, super cool Pokemon. Love it a lot. Next, we have Chespin. Chespin's going to go down in bad for me. I wish I liked Chespin more, but it's just yeah, it's just, I wish it kept its original coloration going up, not turning white, because I just feel like this coloration right here is really, really unique, really cool. But yeah, Quilladin definitely hurts this Pokemon. I think that Chestnut being grass fighting definitely hurts it because it's 4 times weak to fire, or, well, to flying. And yeah, overall, really cute design for Chespin, ugly design for Quilladin, and then okay design for Chestnut. I don't think its Mega Evolution did enough to fix a lot of its problems, but it's still really cool that it got a Mega Evolution, so I'm not complaining. Finnegan's gonna go all the way up here under Totodile. Now, Finnegan is one of my favorite Pokemon because I love foxes. I love foxes so much. They're one of my favorite animals, not tied with, but second place come deer, third place are monkeys. So I love foxes. I don't have as much memories with Finnegan as I do the other 3 Pokemon that are beating it currently, so that's why it's not going to be quite as high, but yeah, it's adorable. I love its coloration. The Mega Evolution for Delphox is really cool. We really hope it doesn't get Levitate because it's going to really hurt it from Expanding Force, but, and this isn't a Wolfie Click video, so I'm not going to go too much into that, but Feroki, I'm going to put it down here. I'll put it here. I definitely think that it's overrated. Game Freak saw a Pokemon that they liked and they latched onto it, and here we are. We are stuck with Froakie and Greninja. I do think that Ash Greninja is a very unique concept. It feels like it was a Pokemon that they tried to make an Mega Evolution for, but they couldn't because it just didn't fit. So they made its own unique form, which is pretty cool, but overall, not one of my favorite Pokemon. It's fine enough, I guess. It serves its purpose. It's one of those weird Pokemon that has eyes within its eyeball, and I don't know how I feel about that, but overall, Froakie's pretty cool. I don't hate it, don't love it. It's better than good though. I'll just leave it at that. Next we have Rowlet, and Rowlet's gonna go above I'm gonna put it here. I personally love the Rowlet line. Not as much as I love Chimchar, but I love the Rowlet line. I think that Decidueye or Decadui, however you want to pronounce it, is very, very cool. I think that overall it's very niche, that it's based off of like an extinct owl. I love that the Hisuian form has like the autumn coloration. Very, very cool. I love that it's based off of a Ronin. Just, yeah, overall love the Rowlet line. I think that having an owl-based Pokemon as a starter is pretty unique. It's pretty cool. But yeah, overall I love Rowlet and I love its line so much. Don't care for Dartrix, but if you just skip Dartrix and go straight to Decidueye, perfect. Love it. Litten. I'll put it here. middle of good. It's definitely a Pokemon that's overhyped. I don't think that it deserved to be in Pokemon or in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think that they really should have gone with Rowlet for that. That way we had a final evolution of 3 different types of Pokemon instead of doubling up on the fire type. But overall, not bad. I wish that they didn't make it into a bipedal Pokemon. I feel like these are going to be a lot of pretty well-known thoughts on this Pokemon. I love its coloration, black and red, and that's really, really cool. But I really wish they didn't turn it into a heel wrestler. I do love that they didn't make it into a fighting type, because that would have been great. Everybody would have loved that. But yeah, overall, it's not my favorite Pokemon. I think I definitely prefer the other 2 Pokemon over it, but yeah, it's pretty cool, I guess. Next we have Poplio, who I'll put in the middle of the amazing tier. I think that us having our very first fairy type starter Pokemon was very cool. I think that it wasn't necessarily needed. I do feel like if they were gonna do it, they probably should have done it in the generation where it was introduced, but they were definitely still working out a lot of bugs. Even by the time Poplio came out, they were working out a lot of bugs. Paldea is definitely the Pokemon to play through the games Sun Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon with if you're wanting more of an easier experience, just because the Fairy type is very OP in that game. But yeah, overall, I do love the Paldea line. Primarina's a bit much, but Sparkling Aria is a really, really cool move. Yeah, just overall, really, really love this line. Moving on, this definitely looks like I have a hatred for grass type Pokemon, but overall, Grookey is gonna go down in bad. No, I'll put it. I like it better than Litten. And yeah, you know, I'll put it there. I don't like Thwackey. Its middle evolution is the off-putting part for me. Grookey's adorable. Rillaboom is really cool. I love the fact that it's got drums. It represents the European or the British, the Galarian music scene. I don't know why I'm bringing the real world into this, but yeah, overall, Grookey's adorable. Rillaboom's really cool. You got those Grassy Glide shenanigans with Grassy Surge. That's pretty cool from the competitive scene, but yeah, overall, just not amazing or fantastic, but I do really, really enjoy the Grookey line beyond Thwackey. Next, we got Scorbunny, and I'm gonna put it all the way up here. I love the colors on Scorbunny so much. I love that its ears are like a gradient from white to orange. Overall, just a really, really cool line. I feel like this is one of the only Pokemon lines that have a very, very cool Pokemon for each stage of it. And even Cinderace is really, really cool. I love rabbits too. But Cinderace having its signature move Pyro Ball, having its G-Max form is kind of cool, but I feel like it doesn't get big enough. I like that it turns into a long-eared rabbit. That's pretty cool from like a lore perspective, but yeah, overall, fantastic Pokemon. Sobble is probably going to be my least favorite Pokemon. None of them I don't think are going to go down in horrible, but I do think that Sobble is my least favorite. I don't like that its whole identity is it's sad or it's afraid or it's anxious. Well, actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I have anxiety too, so we'll put it up. We'll put it up. Good. I relate to Sobble now that I think about it. That might be why I didn't like it at first, because it was too real, it hit too close to home. But, you know, overall, can't complain too much. Inteleon's fairly cool. I don't necessarily like the whole finger gun idea, but it's unique enough. Now moving on to our final generation here, we have Sprigatito, who name alone, I'm putting up here. That is the most unique name that we could have for a Pokemon. And I'm not mad about it. I love it. So yeah, Sprigatito is going to go up in the top of amazing. I think Meowscarada is a really, really cool Pokemon as well. And even Florigato, the middle stage, is pretty cool. Like how I was just talking about Scorbunny being that, I think that Sprigatito's line is definitely very cool in every single sense. But Grass Dark type is 4 times weak to bug. Not cool. I do like that its signature move always crits. Pretty cool. So yeah, I think that Sprigatito is definitely one of the more reliable sources that you can put on your team for any Paldea playthrough. Now we got Fuecoco, who once again, name alone, I'm putting up here. I do love Fuecoco. I think that his little toothy smile, he's adorable. I think that its signature move with Skeledirge is really cool, that it always raises its special attack. I like that it has the bird on its head in the second stage, and then it gets all the way up to Skeledirge, and now it's become like a symbiotic relationship where they both are mutually benefiting from each other. Pretty cool. I do actually really enjoy Fuecoco. Now, Quaxly. I did say in my favorite Pokemon picker that Quaxly is probably going to be my favorite. I hate its middle form. I hate it so much, but Quaquaval is very flamboyant, to say the least. But I did use it on my first playthrough of Scarlet and Violet way back in the day, and it's definitely got a special place in my heart. I think that I really like the coloration of Quaxly in particular, like the yellow with the white and the blue. Just really, really unique Pokemon. I do really, really enjoy it. So yeah, I am going to put it up this high. Not necessarily even for Quaquaval, but Quaquaval is still pretty useful in the playthrough. So I don't even think that Quaquaval hurts it that much, but yeah. As always, thank you guys so much for coming to my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave down in the comments who your favorite starter Pokemon is and what you thought of my tier list. As always, keep exploring, keep learning, and stay safe out there, trainers. Bye!